started on part 1 of creating framework components. So I was doing some research, and this is what you can see as a research based on. So I have asked Perplexity to give me some component ideas. So here is the idea based on my prompt that you guys can see here. And the ideas are based on pain points. So advanced CMS component limitations, e-commerce integration gaps, animation and motion component limitations, form data collection limitations, authentication and user management, right? So out of these, I have gone through and read all of these. So I like this pain point for animation and motion component limitation. And so the three ideas that we have is scroll triggered counter component, advanced counter countdown timer, and interactive comparison slider, right? So we'll be building one by one. So let's take on, I like this idea about scroll triggered counter component. So I'll be taking this for this part and create a component based out of this one. So let's copy this, right? Next, what we need to do is to go to Framer, right? So I'll be using several different tools here. So I used, for idea generation, I used Perplexity. For creating the component, we'll be using Framer. And one of the tools that Framer gives us is, if you go to the plugins part, you will see this workshop, right? You can click on this workshop. So we'll use this as a starter template so we can get started on this one, right? So yeah, here are some suggestions, right? So what I need is make a scroll triggered counter component that animates number when scrolling right into view, perfect for start sections. Or we can remove this, right? So this basically, this is the idea. So let's get started and let's see if this could, right? So we do have different models here that we could choose. So by default it's choosing Claude 4.5. so let's give it a try and let's see what this generates for us, right? So if you can see here, it's getting generated. Let's see what happens. So and if this is in workable condition, right? So like, can we use this, or do we need to modify this, or do we need to, let's say, prompt it again, right? The generated code contains error, attempting to fix. Okay, so to see that, what you can do is you can go to the assets panel, and in the code section you will see this counter animator.txx. That is the actual code that is generated here, right? And this is the code component, or you can say the component, right? So that we could use on our design. So let's say, for now, to just check it out, let's see, right? So I could just, let's say, drag and drop on the desktop page so I can preview this one. Let's see what all settings are there for this component that we could adjust, right? So that we do have some settings here: target number, prefix, suffix, right? Duration, decimals, we can change it. So let's say if we want 2 decimal places. So for now, let's say for testing purpose, let's keep it for 2, and then we do need a separator or not. So now let's say it's on, alignment and color and so on. So let's say change this color for now so that we can see if that color change is actually happening on the component itself or not, right? So let's say, let's play this one and see. So you can see it's working fine. It's too fast, right? So let's adjust the speed a little bit. So it's making 2 seconds, so let's make it right. So the slider goes up to 5, but I believe we could change the settings manually also, right? Or we should, let's say 10 seconds, right? So it's not changing that. We'll modify this, right? So let's see if I could remove the suffix and let's say add a prefix, right? And to see this in actually action, right? So what I need is I need to increase the height of the page so we can see like if this happens on scroll or if it is happening right away, right? Because if we see right now, it happens right away because it's going in a loop. So I think there is some issue happened. So let's say, and the duration didn't change anything. Let's see if the decimal is working fine. The duration didn't do anything. So let's make it, let's say 3 seconds. So if we can, okay, so to check this if it's working properly, right? So let me adjust that target number also. So let's say we keep it up to, let's say 10 for now, so we can see if it is actually slowing down or not. So right, so 2 seconds looks like this, and let's say what happens to 1 second, right? I think it's taking effect, but it's not making much of a difference if the number is too big, right? Because the counter has to go really fast to complete that. Okay, so the second thing that we need to test is on this one is to make, so let's add something. So I'll go and I'll add frames here, and let's say I'll go select the desktop and make it the layout to stack, so I can actually increase the, right? So select the height, and instead of fit, I'll fit the content. So let's make this a little longer so it goes out of the fold area, so it should work on the scroll. So let's test it out. So right, so it does work, but it's working only one time. So let's see if there is a loop that we could adjust to make sure that it is okay. There is no loop, right? So let's fix some of the things, right? So let's go to the assets, click on the counter, animator, and you can see we have the code here and the preview here on the right hand side. So we don't have to do much, so let's copy this, right? All of this, copy it, and let's open up cursor and let's create a file, right? Paste it in here, and what was the name first, right? Counters, right? Scroll counter. So let's save this. So let's save it. Let's save it on the desktop itself, and this is animator.tsx, right? Once it's saved, now let's open up the pan, right? And let's prompt it. So for the context, let's add this. So because I haven't added it into any directory, it's taking like this. So what I could, right? So I could files and folders, right? Animator tsx. Now first of all, let's make the cursor AI agent really aware of what the code is and what it is actually doing, right? So that when we prompt it next, it gives us a little bit more accurate code, right? So let's say go and understand the code first, right? And let's make it so by the time it's understanding the code and making sure everything is working, right? So it is, so I'm not changing the models, right? So I'm making it to auto for now because I'm not using any paid plans for my cursor. So currently I'm using only free, and let's see what the free version of Claude gets us. So it is getting okay. So now what I need is I want to make the right duration, right, customizable and not fixed, or not max out at 5 seconds, right? So first this is what I need, right? So let's play this and let's see what it does. So by the time it does this, right, so let's see one more thing on the design. So currently the separator is on, right? So let's see what does the separator. I believe that separator is the number separator. So let's say if I go to 1000, right? So let's play this. So right, so now you can see that the okay, so that has been completed. So but right, so it does not have any comma separation, right? So I believe that was the separator. Now the alignment, everything, it shouldn't affect much because there is no other element with this. But let's see what cursor has done for us. Right. So cursor changed. So let's see. Okay, I'm going to remove 5-second upper limit from duration control, so you can duration max, sorry, yeah, duration, this max is 5, right? So we need to accept this, remove the 5-second max and control the animation, then check, right? So it removed it, and I believe now it should not get affected, right? I feel like we need to do few more adjustments. So let's see. So I'll just copy this, select all and copy this and put it in the actual counter and save it, right? So that the changes that we have made actually reflect on this. So let's click on this one and let's see if I could. Okay, so I do have now, let's say 25 seconds. So let's see if this gives us a little bit more subtle animation, right? Play this and it's still a little really large number, right? So okay, so like, okay, so now what I need is the to control the animations in here. Like this animation is not really how I want this to look like. So let's go and let's prompt I want to make the animations customizable. So make sure I can modify the animation control. So let's open up and see. Right. And one more thing that I need is, so let's make a I also want to make a reverse animation if I scroll back and come back to the section. Okay, so basically animate every time I scroll to the section. Right. So run later and fix any issue. So it's doing some of this stuff. I'll replace the spring based animation with, okay, so it's replacing some of the animations and making some settings, right? So you can see your spring, your instead of that we're using animate, and then we added these controls, turns, etc, stiffness. Okay, so we do have these things. I added a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's keep all and let's go with this now. Okay, so by the time this goes on, so let's paste it in our framer, test it out, right? So okay, the save ID. Sometimes framer does that. So let's select this and see if right. So we have twin and spring is out animation, circle animations. Okay, do we need to repeat or not? Repeat loop, reverse, and so the repeating is also done. Okay, or already add a replay on scroll, right? So that is happening right now. Repeat delay, decimal separators, right? So let's change this. So let's make it a little bit, and I need to dismiss this. And let's see if the font changes, right? We haven't tested the font settings yet. Okay, I think this is working. Okay, so what I think is going to look good on this is okay, so not to get too much picky about this one. Let's go with anonymous pro, right? And I wanted to check few more things, so let's go with bold. Can we increase the size? Okay, yeah, we can. Line height, not really. We don't really need line height for this particular part, but it's nice to know that we can adjust. So letter spacing we could adjust. We really don't need this, but we could, right? So let's test this. So right, so looking good. Okay, so before we actually do this, so let me check this. So let's make it 100 number, and let's say what I need is easy in and out, and need to be repeat, and let's say reverse. Let's see what this does. And let's see. Right. Okay, so it's really slow, as the timer I have set as really right. So let's change the timer to so let's say maybe 10 seconds for 100, right? So it will go a little faster that way, but not that fast too. Okay, so and that because we put in ease in and out, so it started slow and it okay, so it's repeating at the same place, right? So if I go back and okay, I think I need to remove the repeat part, and I need to change the, so I don't want it to repeat, right? Okay, so I think that setting that we were doing with the cursor, so let's see what. Okay, framework control added replace. Could want me to add a start value other than 0 or a custom out of view threshold. Yeah, sure. I need uh, custom out of view threshold, right? So let's see. Let's keep this, copy this, and put it in framework to test it out. Right, so save this. Right, let's go back to our page, check out some of the things. So okay, let me just change the counter. It's really slow and I don't really like it right now, so let's make it, let's say 2 seconds, right? I have, so let's see what all things are added. So like we have replay on scroll and reverse on exit, right? So here if you can see, so let me make it a little bit bigger. So let's close this workshop because we are not going to need this again, and the cursor is done, so let's see that also. So it added some of the values. Let's keep this, Control A, Control C, and right, so replay. Okay, this is on, so let's check this out first. So 100, and if I go back and right, so did it just right? So it's working, still needs some other things, so let's make the updates first. So right, we edited this. Let's go back to the page, see this. Okay, so if the view port margin, root margin, or in view for in view detection, right? So fraction of element that must be visible. So I think it should be at least visible by 0.1% to make it start, right? So let's check this. Right, okay, so to make it a little bit more, what I'll do is let's convert this into right, let's add a stack first of all, because actually I'm not able to. So let's add this here and put this in here, right? So in this frame, right, and make this as a stack. Let's make this fit content and fit content, or let's say make this for now let's make it fixed. So we have around 320 pixels. I like this, and let's say instead of fit, let's make it fill content, so it's wide enough so that it does not fluctuate, right? Okay, so we have this. Let's check this out now. So when I go, right, so you can see when I get back, so it gets started, right? So I like this so far. We have a lot of functionality down, and I think it's good enough for now. If you need to make any changes, so let's see what cursor is suggesting us. Want a start value control to begin from non-zero value, or a hold exit that keeps last value instead of hold on. Okay, I don't really think we need this, but yeah, if we need it, we can. So viewport margin, let's make it 0 for now. Let's see if what happened. I think something broke. Does this need to be? So just give me 1 second. So it was my, okay, sorry, I think it needs to be 0 pixels, right? Okay. Okay, so let's ask cursor what is the viewport margin in this code, and what is it doing? Explain this. So guys, so we have made few changes and it looks good for now, and we'll be making some more components. So let's see what it is. So viewport margin maps to intersection observers root margin. It virtually expands to shrink the viewport boundary box. Changing when an element is considered in view. Effects: positive margin expands the view, triggers later. Negative margin shrinks it, triggers earlier. You can set 1, 2 and 4 values like CSS margin with pixel or percentage. Code where it is used. Okay, let's see. Viewport margin we have here, and color alignment, maybe leave, repeat, delay, option start to in view, I believe. Okay, sorry. Target number, delay, repeat type, stiffness, damping, number, mass, decimal, separator, alignment. Right, so we have viewport margin, right? So example, root margin for in-view detection. So do you guys think we should add description for all of these controls? Let me know so I can add it in the next component, right, that we are going to build. So how it changes behavior. So -100 pixel default, the top bottom of the viewport are pulled in by 100 pixels, so the animation triggers a bit earlier as you scroll the element and exits a bit sooner as you scroll out. 0 0 20 shrinks only the bottom by 20% of the viewport height. The element will count as in view until it's 20% above the bottom edge. Okay, expands on all sides 100. The element needs to be deeper inside the real viewport to trigger, right? So okay, so let's see if this is what it is. So I have set the viewport margin to 0, right? So let's see play it and let's see, right? So okay, so I see a little problem here because when I scroll, okay, so let's make few more things. So when I scroll up and down quickly, the number starts from middle or wherever it was at that moment, but I want the number to start from zero or custom value specified by the user. So to make this adjustment, add a input to specify start number, also similar to the target number, right? So I think while solving one problem, we found one more. So let's see. So it should now fix two things. One is like currently we don't have, if we go to the component, right? This number always starts with 0 and it has only a target number that we could specify. So let me check if it can take n number. So it's taking, okay, so it's taking 10,000. So I think it would take any number, let's say make it 9999, right? So it does take any number. So currently it's only accepting a destined number, right? So this is the target number that it will achieve once the counter finishes. But sometimes I have seen that there are instances that we want to start the number from somewhere, right? So start number is also needs to be there. The user could specify by default it could be 0, right? So let's say the cursor is done by this. So middle animation scrubbing when rapidly toggling visibility. Okay, so it changed a lot of code, starting from adding a prop and then adding a constant like a variable that is 0, and these are all these const values that you are seeing, these are just variables, right, for default values. If we want, we could set, if we don't want, we could just make them not a default value, right? So we could do that. So there is a change between motion value start number, then it is added from to start number, and instead of starting at 0, we are now changing that value from 0 to a actual variable, and that variable will hold that number instead of a static value. And that has also been added to the property controls for the frame, right? So I think it looks good. Let's test it out. So copy this and put it in our counter, right? So paste it in here. Let's save this and open up, click on this one, right? So let's see. So we do have now a start number. So let's say, okay, let's see. I want to go to let's say this counter is going to be for my clients, right? And I want to put in, let's say, plus as the suffix, and let's say I do have already 18, or let's say 18 clients, and now I have, let's say, 35 clients. So I want that counter to go from 18 to 35. Duration, let's make it around 4.5. So, or we can adjust that duration. So let's say 3 seconds, right? Then we have let's say make it ease out, right? So I want to ease out it a bit. Viewport amount, that's, I think, let's make this a little bit more. 0.2% of the viewport amount needs to be visible to make this trigger happen. Make this as center alignment. Let's play this. So once that is done, right, so it's starting from 18, right, and it is going up to 35. But why it is repeating? Okay, so let me check if I did the repeat on. The repeat is not on. I didn't add this also. Separator does not mean anything unless it is 3 digits, right? So even if it's on, it won't do anything. Okay, so now let's prompt again for cursor and to check if why that is happening. While checking the code, I found the counter is being repeated 2 times when in view. It should not repeat while in view if the target number has been achieved, right? So check it out why it's happening and fix it. So let's see what cursor has for us to make sure that it's not happening. And I think this is going to be a good component for framer components, right? Because like I have seen it used on many websites, like similar to SAS, and it could be used on other websites also, right? So it's saying I'll update the in view only, enter exit using in preview, in refer, preventing repeated animation while then summarize the change. So I gated the animation. Okay, so I changed some of the logic. If you see repeats, so add any tiny debounce window to ignore rapid visibility flaps from fast scrolling. Okay, so that is, so let's check this first. So let's copy this and let's see if this happens, still happens. Sales done, item have here, and let's see. Something is not working. This counter stopped working. Let's check this, what happened. I think something broke when we were doing this. So let's go to the cursor and prompt it. The counter stopped working. Fix it. Check what made it stop working. Right. I saw the effect was stopping the animation every state change via its cleanup, which cancels the animation right after it starts. And the cleanup we already stopped an abbreviation right before starting, and so the counter runs correctly. Okay, so there was some glitches by cursor, so let's see if now it works. Modify and right, so I think now it's working. Right, so let's play. It works. Yeah, it works. Congrats guys, we completed this counter, right? So now let's go back, check out anything else before we close out. So I think this looks good. So I will be submitting this component on Framer components. You'll be able to see that soon, and I'll link that to this particular video, right, once that the component has been approved by Framer. And please do like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. So I'll be doing few more components next time. I'm not really sure when I'll be doing that, but I'm sure I'll be making few couple of videos, right? And I'm just starting out my journey now. So let's meet up in the next session.